In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and regards. This is Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai, here with a new session for you, my friends. Today's lesson for you is titled, How to Screenshot. How can we take a picture or screenshot of our computer screen or any programs that are open on the computer? Well, it's just like when we have a mobile phone. There are several ways on mobile. For example, there's a shortcut for it, or in the Action Center we have a button called Screenshot, or we can press the power button and the volume button together at the same time. We press them and then it takes a screenshot. So there are 2 or 3 ways to do it on mobile. Now, if we want to do these things on a computer and take a screenshot of our screen, there are actually a lot of different methods for that. I want to tell you all of these methods. These are methods that used to be very common back when we used Windows XP or even earlier versions. Which methods were those? Then there were methods that got added later in Windows XP and Windows 7. Which methods were those, and what are the methods currently used in Windows 10 or 11? So which methods are those? We want to tell you about all of them at the same time. First of all, let's start with the program we're going to talk about today. The program that was used for taking screenshots in Windows 7. That program is called Snipping Tool. In its translation, it says that Snipping Tool is a feature of Windows that is used to capture screenshots or take pictures of your computer screen and the screens of other programs. Meaning, whether you want to take a screenshot of your computer's desktop or of other programs that are open on your computer. If we wanted to take a screenshot of them, we could use the Snipping Tool command in Windows, or the Snipping Tool program, but as we mentioned, it was used in Windows 7 or 8. Although currently, this command is still available and shows up in Windows 10. It also appears in Windows 11. Instead of this, we now have something new. We have a new program that does the job, but they've included both, and as I told you before, whenever a new command or application comes to Windows, they don't just easily remove the previous one. That means they include it in Windows. It stays in Windows for many, many years. But over time, that old application or old command gradually disappears, and the new one takes its place and remains. So in Windows 7, we said that we used this one. In Windows 10, though, we actually have a different method that uses another program. What do they call that program? They call it Snip and Sketch. So the picture we saw earlier was actually the Snipping Tool, and this is a picture of the Snip and Sketch program, which is something new that came with Windows 10 and 11. It does the same job, it's just a new application. So as I said, in Windows 10, both of them are included. That's why I'm going to tell you about both of them, so you can remember both. But overall, that Snipping Tool was actually a program from Windows 7, so eventually it will be removed from Windows 10 and 11. But for now, both of them are available. Their functions are the same since both do the same thing. But in Windows 10, there's something else as well. What's it called? It's called Step Recorder. Step Recorder is a feature in Windows that is used for taking step-by-step screenshots. So it also takes screenshots. But it has another feature. If you wanted to take a screenshot of every step in a process, meaning every time you click somewhere, every step you take, it will capture a picture. If we use this, it makes our work even easier. Otherwise, if we want to take regular screenshots and capture each step manually, it becomes very difficult for us because for every step we have to bring it up, take a screenshot and save it. Then we have to go back to the next step again. For example, you're actually doing a task. We want to have a screenshot of each and every step of the process. From every step you move forward. If we use this method, we can do the job much more easily. Otherwise, if we stick to the simple screenshot system and take a picture of each step one by one, the task becomes very difficult. So you see, I've explained the screenshots and descriptions of all 3 of these programs. We work with each of these programs one by one, and we open and review each program separately. For now, let's proceed. The very first program we mentioned here for you is called Snipping Tool, which we said we used in Windows 7 and explained how we used it. Now I'll show you how to use it. But before I show you how to use the program, first let me tell you how, in versions of Windows before Windows 7 or in Windows versions that didn't even have Snipping Tool, we used to take screenshots. How could we capture a picture from the screen? Let me explain that to you. On all keyboards, whether it's a desktop keyboard or a laptop keyboard, there's a key called Print Screen. We used to use this key back in the day. This key is still present on all keyboards even now, whether it's a desktop keyboard or a laptop keyboard. We've had this command or this key since the time when there was no Snipping Tool, no Snip and Sketch or Step Recorder. These are programs, the ones I explained to you earlier. Back when these programs didn't exist, what did we use? We used this very button called Print Screen, and we still have Alt as well. With Print Screen takes a screenshot of the entire screen, but if you press Alt with Print Screen, it only captures the active window. We mentioned that back in the days of Windows XP and earlier versions, when there was no snipping tool at all, how did we take screenshots? For example, let's say you want to take a full screenshot of this page, this window. There's also the WordPad program, but we want to capture the entire screen. You just press the print screen button on the keyboard. That same button I showed you earlier in the picture. When I press print screen, it takes a screenshot. Now, this screenshot has been captured for us. In the program, there's something called the clipboard that we have. The clipboard stores what you cut or copy. Whenever we cut or copy something, it gets transferred to a place called the clipboard. Then, whenever we go into any program, for example, let's go to the Paint program. In any program, when we say paste, what does paste actually do? It transfers that same image that's currently in the clipboard, the one that was cut or copied, and brings it here for us. So we see that when we press print screen, it was directly transferred to the clipboard, and after we said paste in the Paint program, what did it do with that image for us? It brought it in. We can see that, well, this is the image. What did it do with the image? It took a screenshot. So in previous programs, in older versions of Windows, we used to use these procedures. After that, we could also come and do what with this image? Save it as JPG or any format you wanted. In the end, what did we do? We would save it. If we pressed just the print screen key, what would it do for us this time? It would take a screenshot of the whole screen, meaning a full screen capture. But if we wanted to capture just the WordPad window alone, we had another shortcut for that called Alt plus print screen. Before Alt plus print screen came along, when it was just the regular print screen, it was tough for us because what did we do? We would press print screen, take the screenshot, and then bring that image into the Paint program and paste it there. What did we do inside Paint or other drawing programs? We would use the selection tool to select it, basically because we only needed the image of the active window. We had just selected that part. We would crop it. So this was how we could get a screenshot of just the active window. That is back when people only used the print screen key. But over time, this process became easier. So what happened was that they introduced the Alt key shortcut along with print screen. What did this do? When you were on a page, you would press Alt and print screen together. It would only capture the active page, the page that was currently active. And when you were in WordPress or Paint or other programs, you would paste it. You could see exactly what it pasted for you. It only pasted that specific page. There was no need to, for example, select these or crop them. So if we press print screen, it captures the entire screen. When we go to paste it, we see that it has captured the whole screen. It took a screenshot of both the active window and the top bar, whereas if we had pressed Alt along with print screen, it would have only captured the active window for us. It would have only taken a screenshot of the WordPad window and not the other parts. In Windows 7, when the snipping tool was introduced, we started using the snipping tool instead of the shortcut for taking screenshots. Where is the snipping tool? If we want to open it, we go to the Start menu. In the Start menu, we move the pointer to the letter W to a section called Windows Accessories. Inside here, we have something called the snipping tool. As soon as you click on it, it opens. Or, for example, we can come to the search section. Here, just by typing SN, what does it do for you? It brings up the snipping tool. It opens it. Well, we could also, for example, right-click on the snipping tool wherever we have it, and then tell it to pin it to the pinned application section. We could right-click on it and then choose either Pin to Start or Pin to Taskbar, or just say Pin to Taskbar. Creates a shortcut for us, pins it to the taskbar, and if we don't want it, well, we can just say we don't want it from here. And since we said Pin to Start, it also created a shortcut for us there. It's now pinned in the Start menu. So we can open it in different ways. When we open it, Snipping Tool now opens as a small program. Here, try to notice that we have a title bar in this section. When I say title bar or interface, I mean the appearance of the program. This part is called the title bar. This is the menu bar. This part is called the caption. It's also referred to as the control box. You can easily recognize the close, minimize, and restore buttons. This part is called the toolbar, and I'll explain all its functions to you. This section is referred to as the instruction text. Instruction text, or content, or informational text. Or, throughout the game, whenever you click on something, it provides you with some extra information. Instruction text. And this part, its pointer is also an informational section that we can eventually hire if we want, and we can also show it. In this informational section, you always get extra information. For example, instead of the snipping tool, now it gives you information that we've introduced something new in Windows 10 called Snip and Sketch. Earlier, we read the definitions and said that the snipping tool was used in Windows 7, but in Windows 10 and 11, something called Snip and Sketch has been introduced. That's why it encourages you to use this new tool instead of the old one. Whenever I move my mouse over it, it opens the Snip and Sketch program for me. I'll talk about that in the next lesson in the next video. And finally, dear friends, I kindly ask that if you found the videos helpful, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next sessions. Goodbye.